Well, good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to Noel's Garden Tractors and Firewood. Thanks for dropping in. Kind of a dull day today, no sun out. It was snowing a little bit here a little while ago, but that's going to change. It seems to be kind of quiet today. Anyway, not a whole lot going on here again today, but I'm gonna look at that mowing deck. So probably for today's video is all I'm gonna do is look at it, and then I might take something apart and I might not, but I think it's just going to be looking at it. Anyway, what we're going to do, I guess, first is we'll go to the weather forecast, and as you can see, rainfall warning. It's not lovely with all the snow on the ground. Yeah, so that means the wah-wah is going to be running everywhere. And that's the time of year, I guess it's going to start once we get into this time of year with almost into March. So March weather comes along and you get snow and rain and freezing rain and ice pellets, sleet, and you name it, we get it. But anyway, today, at the moment, it's -1 Celsius. And that would be, I would think, probably 30 degrees Fahrenheit. 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Look at that. Yeah, over here is 31.1. Anyway, we got the strange direction again today. Southeast. Not too often we ever get that. 12 miles an hour. And a -6 Celsius wind chill. So it's not a bad day outside just to be out. No wind, that's the nice thing. Anyway, not looking good here for the weekend. It's rain or flurries, showers or flurries, which we did have flurries. So tonight's going to warm up, it's going to turn to rain. Tomorrow is snow and rain, and then periods of snow tomorrow night, back down to -13 Celsius. That's quite a change in temperature. Sunday's a nice looking day. Monday's nice looking too, and Tuesday's not too bad. They're still saying 9 degrees Celsius for Wednesday. I'm sure that'll change some. But anyway, this weekend, and depending on what weather forecasting thing you look at or listen to, it could be all rain, or some of them are saying 35 centimeters of snow, and it's all for the ratings. You know, all the goings on is going to get pretty intense here now with the weather people, because winter is kind of coming to an end, so they got to get their ratings up. So that'll be a big fight amongst them, that they'll have to have a better forecast than the other fella. Anyway, that's not going to be a good weekend. Thankfully, Sunday looks like a nice day. Anyway, okay, so we're going to have a quick look here. This is going to be a short video, probably. Short. It's a wonder I haven't got dirt on me already by leaning up against that. Or that. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get into the nitty-gritty here. Now, what's going on with this? The problem I was having, maybe I'll set you down here and then I can do something else here. Let's get this over here. Kind of get you in there like that, maybe. Is that good? That might be all right. No, let's try over here a bit. All right, so he's in around there like that. Well, I'm going to find myself a pointer. So how this works is, when it was new, it was probably fine, but after 50 years, they just wear out. So you have your drive belt that comes from the drive system on the engine. And this turns. I can't remember which way it goes, but one way or the other. So anyway, once it turns, then the blades turn around clockwise and shoot out this end over here. Nice cutting deck. They make a real nice job. But 50 years of wear, I should say more than 50. Anyway, so it has gearboxes. It's got a left-hand gearbox here, and over on this side it's got a right-hand gearbox. Now, to get the belt out of here, the idea was to take this circle clip, no, not circle, E-clip, I guess they call them. You take that out, and then there's the same thing on the other side over here. Maybe I'll move you a little bit so you can see both sides maybe a little bit. So yeah, so there's the clip on this side. All right, so I don't know if I can set you here and maybe do that, can I? Kind of. All right, so yeah, so to get the belt out, you had to take this clip out and that clip out. Slide the coupling this way, slide this coupling this way, this piece would come out. In here and in here is very fine splines on the shaft coming out of the gearbox and on this shaft, and on the inside of these couplers is the same spline. So like I say, you'd slide these that way and this way and then take this out to change the belt. Now, so over time and with pressure on the deck and cutting grass and 50 years later, the splines in here begin to wear. And what can happen is when they're turning, they begin to get some wear this way too, plus wear the spline out. So what can happen is this can spin and that not spin. So it slips in here, either this side or that side. Now this deck, the blades are timed, so there's one blade that would have to be when you put this back in, and you put these hook these back up, you would turn the blade so that one blade is going that way and one blade is going this way. So when they spin, they don't hit each other. Because this is not an angle type deck, it's straight ahead type, the blades have to be offset. So if this here or here slips, the blades can hit each other. And that's a nasty sounding thing when they do that. So anyway, so as I say, over time all that stuff wears. So I had troubles with that for years with it. We've had this tractor for 19 years almost now. I did price this stuff when we got the tractor. This and these two things were about $150 19 years ago. I guess I should have bought them at the time because they're probably $300 now, and I doubt very much if you could even get them. So my fix was, I did this a couple of years ago, I drilled holes through. And this is all hardened stuff. So I drilled holes through that. I found a bit somewhere. And I spent hours and hours and hours drilling them 4 holes. And of course they're not quite exactly straight through in the middles. But anyway, it worked. And these are the pins I had put in. These ones are still pretty good shape. But this one over here, this is in bad shape. I started breaking this one. I could only cut the grass here at home. You know, it's only a 1/4 acre lot with a house and garage on it. I started breaking this pin. So I put in a pin, I cut the grass once and maybe a half of the next time and break it again. So that went on for a while. So then I started using harder and harder pins. And what I got in there now is an 1/8, or maybe it's a 3/16. I'm going to call it a split pin. And then inside of that I put an 1/8 split pin. And that seemed to work. And we obviously had broken this one too by the look of it. But now I see, after I get myself looking at it here, look at the wear in that. You can get right there. That's only supposed to be a 3/16 hole. So that's bouncing around there pretty well. You can see it on that one. So whatever is going on, I swore a little bit on the other one, but not a whole lot. And the other problem is there's probably a 1/4, no, it wouldn't be a 1/4, it'd be 1/8 of an inch of wear there up and down. That's not good. So that means that the spline on the shaft coming out of the gearbox, there's no splines left, I would say. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I say never be able to buy parts for that today. I wouldn't think anyway. So, and you can see silver metal flake here, down here. So I'm kind of wondering if the gear or bearing or something in here is bad, although there's no grease coming out. And the bearing doesn't look, there doesn't seem to be any play in the shaft coming out of the gearbox. So maybe all that is all from this, but anyway, I guess I got to get it apart and see what I am going to do. Now, because we can't get parts, I don't think anyway, I might look it up and see, but in order to change all that stuff, you'd have to get the shaft for here, coupling, and this to begin with. This doesn't seem to be too bad yet on this side. Anyway, that's going to be nasty. Now the other problem is I think I might have 3 used decks. So you know what that means. I'll have to go and look at them, but I'm pretty sure that they aren't any better than what I got. I'm going to put that over there so that I don't get into those greasy pins on the end of it there. Didn't want to get my nice worn out blue jeans all dirty. Anyway, there is a deck over there on the wall. That's been hanging there probably 17 years, I'd say. Now, I can't remember really what was wrong with that deck, but it wouldn't cut straight. I think it was the problem. I think the blades didn't match in the middle, so when it would cut the grass, it would leave a line. And that may be the only thing that's wrong with that deck. But I'm not sure. I'm going to have to get over there and get it in behind all the junk and look at it. And that deck is the one that came on the tractor when we got it. So if I feel that it's in a little better shape, it may have to go back on and deal with the uneven of the cut. I kind of think the deck is bent, is what we figured out. Anyway, and there are 2 more decks over at my son's place, I think. So I better zoom you back in here. Yeah, there we go. So that's the story on that. I don't think one of my good buddies mentioned that maybe the gearbox was getting fetched up. One of my good YouTube buddies. And I don't think so, Rick. I think that's pretty easy moving there. I don't feel any resistance in that at all. But it's a good thought. Anyhow, let me see if I can get this deck turned over, and then I can show you what goes on underneath of it. And then we'll probably end the video there. I'll get you set up over here just for a minute. Then you can watch me grunt and go on foolish to try and get this turned over. Now, because my hands are old and wore out, everything that I pick up hurts, so I gotta put a pair of gloves on. Worn out hands hurt if you don't put gloves on. That's just the way that is. Alright, let's see if we can get this over. Pick this up. Roll it towards me. Yep. There. Now, if I can get this down without hurting myself, I'll get all set. There. So this is what goes on underneath here. That's the outside of the deck, throws the grass out there. And as you can see, these decks hardly ever fill up with any grass. A little bit of a build up there, but they're very, very good for keeping themselves clean. Oh, and the other thing I think, from what I can remember somebody telling me, is the blades are no longer available either. So the way this is supposed to be is right like that. When you put the belt back on and hook up the couplers to the shafts, that's where the blades have to be. If not, this blade here is long enough so that if it comes around, it will hit this one. Right about there. And I'm telling you, when they jam up together, boy, the clattering is just unreal. And you can kind of see the edge. That's all chewed up from banging each other. Anyway, cuts grass wonderful. Just wonderful. It makes a nice job. So anyway, I'm going to have to do some searching and thinking and see what I can come up with, I guess. Be kind of a shame not to have it working, but I guess everything has to come to an end at some point. So at least I got it up today and got a look at it, and grass cutting season is coming, so I got to do something with it. I get my coffee here, look, right on the nice hot stove. Nice hot fire today. Have to get some wood in there. Anyhow, I guess we'll leave her at that for now. And I'll get back to you again on this. There's no sense in me stopping this and then starting it again and stopping it and starting it. And I might as well just end it, and then I can, once I do something with it, I'll make another video. Anyhow, we'll leave her at that. So have a great day wherever you're at or whatever you're doing. And hopefully in your part of the world, the weather is nice. I see it's starting to snow again. So there we go. All right, so I'm rambling again, so I'll leave it at that. Goodbye. So I guess I'm going to start it and stop it again. I said I wasn't going to do that, but anyway, it's just typical me. I forgot a couple of little things that I'd like to add onto this part of the video before I do start taking it apart and fixing it. So anyway, as you can see, this deck is at least 50 to 55 years old. Hardly any rust. A little bit of surface rust maybe, but it's never ever been repaired. And it certainly looks like it's going to last another 50 years. Anyway, so that's that. The other thing I want to say, now that I just see that, is they make a great deck for doing the striping on the lawns. You got the rollers on the back. All the Massey Ferguson tractors of this era had that. And the deck on that 14 would have that roller on the back of it. That's the one my son uses on his 16, and it has that roller. And the deck for the Massey Ferguson 12 also has the roller on the back of it. Anyway, that's got nothing to do with this, I guess. But so anyway, the part where I was saying where the grass wasn't getting, as I was making a line, is in between here, so that when this comes around to here, either the blades are bent or the deck is bent, so it leaves a line right in the center here. Not on this deck, it's on the one that's hanging on the wall there. So, like I say, I don't know what's, we looked at that at the time, and we really couldn't figure out what was wrong. So, but I think the deck is bent. But now that I've gained oodles of knowledge in the past 20 years working on this stuff, I might be able to fix the bend in the other one, or fix the line that it makes. Back when we get into this stuff, we didn't know nothing. And I guess probably don't know a whole lot yet, but anyway, you never know. We might come up with an idea. The other thing was the belt. Remember the belt on the other side that's on that shaft? That's the shaft hooks to the two gearboxes. That's the other flaw of this system, is that belt always has tension on it, pulling towards the front of the tractor to keep the belt tight. So over time, the couplers, as I say, begin to wear, and things start wearing. Instead of the shaft running straight across, it starts to wear the edges off of the couplers and the shafts, and begins to move towards the front of the tractor. So that's just the way it is. You know, you got to have the belt tight to run the deck, and that's the way it was made. So that was another. That's, I'd say, probably the worst part of the deck is that system where it's always pulling on those shafts and couplers with it engaged to cut grass. Anyway, that was just a little extra I thought I'd throw in there while I was on the topic. Once I watched the video while I was doing my editing, My editing consists of watching the video. If it's any good, I post it. If it's no good, I delete it. That's about the extent of my video editing. So anyway, when I watched it, I kind of thought of those couple of things that I have said there. So anyway, there we go. We'll leave her at that for now. Goodbye.